week on Think About It. Hello everyone and welcome. We're gradually coming to the end of season 1 of Think About It. Yes we are. And I'm really looking forward to consolidating our thoughts and learning experiences on the season's theme, which is on safety. I am so excited and looking forward to the fruit and harvest of our time together after so many weeks of learning. I would like to spend a few minutes to take you back down memory lane, a sort of recap of the past few weeks. So, we started the program with a combination of the introduction and induction of Think About It with our Think expert for the first 4 weeks, Dr. Akin Udubitong. Remember him? Dr. Akin taught us from his book, Common Errors in Thinking, and he used 2 particular thinking tools by the renowned Dr. Edward de Bono. We got an insight into patterns of thinking. We first and foremost learned how not to think. Then we also learned some ways to think. For those of you who are first-time listeners, or those of you who missed the earlier episodes of Think About It, good news! You can catch up on the first 4 episodes of the program via my social media handle is @DearDurand. Even better news, be on the lookout for another set of episodes coming out soon on the same platform. Moving right on, from the introduction and induction of Think About It, we change gears and move swiftly into the core of the program, which is themed around the subject of safety. Safety particularly on our roads. Our first topic of discussion was emergency response to accidents, which led us to the 3-part series on accident prevention. And here we are today. Sniff, sniff, sniff. Lots of mixed feelings. But here we are today, rounding off season 1 of Think About It. But the good news is, we're rounding up with something new and different from the usual episodes. After having discussed some heavy stuff on the program in the past couple of weeks, I thought it would be a good idea to round off on a somewhat lighter note. Do you remember that I mentioned earlier that we would do something different from time to time, something special on Think About It? Something just to ginger our thinking faculties even more? Well, today is such a day. And at this juncture, I would like to introduce another dimension of Think About It that I call myth or fact. This part of Think About It is just as the name implies. Myth or fact is an interesting engagement segment of Think About It, and the objective is simply to determine if the topic of discussion is a myth or a fact. Here's where the juice, sauce if you like, of the program really is. You, our gracious listeners, will get the chance to analyze, evaluate, question, dissect, even research the topic of discussion, and hopefully we'll all arrive at a mutually beneficial learning experience with one another. For this special episode of Think About It, you may want to apply the thinking tools taught and lessons learned on the program. Okay, to help you out a bit, let me give you a little hint. You'll find some of the answers in the first 4 episodes of Think About It, which is now accessible at Dear Durand. More importantly, you are most welcome to share your personal thinking tools, your experiences, and your expertise. I would love to hear from you. Think About It is not only Nigeria's premier think show, it's also a learning program. So the more we engage and learn and exchange knowledge with one another, the better. Enough said. Off I go on a quick break. Please don't go away. I'll be right back. I'm back! And you're still listening to Think About It with Dear Durand, or DD if you like. Just before we went on a break, I was sharing with you, our listeners, the reasons behind the special episode of Think About It called Myth or Fact. So, without further ado, let's think about the statement together, shall we? Here we go. Women drivers are nasty road users. Is this a myth or a fact? I'll say that again. The statement that we'll be thinking through together today on Myth or Fact is women drivers are nasty road users. Do you think this is a myth or a fact? So before you scream, shout, or even go into a panic, please bear in mind that this is a generic statement, hence our investigative approach to the topic of discussion. To further help us keep our thoughts concise on today's special episode of Think About It, let's sit back, relax, and listen to an excerpt from Behavior Modification Media's drama series, In Transit.
Where are all these cars rushing to? They will end up blocking the road in front now.
It just means there is no traffic official there yet. The way these people behave, like children, as if some authority figure must always come to tell them what to do.
Will it kill them to wait in line? That's why I can't live in this your Lagos. That's why there's too much aggravation in the air.
It is not in the air. It's in the bad eggs. At Tokowa Bekoje. They come in from all over to misbehave and give our city a bad name.
Where did you learn all this conk Yoruba from? Nobo, I hope you're not forgetting your roots, so.
How can? But I just love this city. Its energy, its history, its people. Hey. And of course, its finger foods. Hey, this Lagos is small chops paradise.
This same Lagos where that commercial bus just tried to ram into you.
Minor irritations of the everyday variety. That's why I have a fender. It is very effective in keeping crazy drivers like that at bay. You see, I didn't even have to say a word to anybody.
That's the part that's tripping me. Ha! I remember how you used to abuse bike men and conductors in car before. Now you have come to Lagos to form.
Not to form, to chill. Now that I am where I want to be, it is easy to be easygoing, you know. And besides, I am a lady, not a tout.
Maybe you should let this car into the lane. This driver is determined to enter in front of you.
Lie. If there's something that annoys me, it's women who drive like touts. It's bad enough that commercial buses shunt and face oncoming traffic, but a woman, haba. I know for a fact that our brains are wired better than that.
Some things never change. I see you're still pushing for girl power.
Believe.
She's very persistent too. Maybe you should just let her go. Take one for the team.
How? She and I are not on the same team at all. If she's lucky, the car behind can let her in. But me, no way.
She's safe. Madam, go and find another place to enter now. Is it by force?
Answer, chill. You are in AC, she's in AC. How can she hear? Let her try. I'm sure her eyes can see that my fender is not a foam.
Women, una get wahala, sha.
For sure, this one gets.
I don't believe this.
Calm down. Calm down now. Come and see how you've wrecked my car with your rough driving, you horrible creature.
Please, madam, mind your language.
Excuse me?
I am so sure that you found our dramatic case study helpful. Do let me know if you think the statement, women are nasty road users, is a myth or a fact. Kindly support your feedback with cogent reasons. Build a case. Why not? Build a case for whatever opinion you choose. Just before I go, I really couldn't resist conducting a simple survey via Vox Populi. I asked a few of my male friends their opinion on the topic of discussion, and here's what they had to say.
Exactly the fact. Not 100% women, but most of them. About 60%.
Wow.
Because they're probably always in a hurry and their tolerance level is 0.
I think it's a myth. And I would go this way because we kind of believe that women are the weaker sex. So we kind of look at them as weak drivers. We kind of look at them as weak road users. However, the woman also, because she doesn't want to appear as the weaker sex, is always standing up to be strong. So when a woman is on the road, and you go past her to come in front of her, she's probably going to say, oh, so he thinks I'm a slow coach, yeah? Okay, let me speed up. And things like that. So I think basically that's why it looks like it's a fact.
Alright, so myth or fact? Women are nasty drivers or nasty road users. My quick thoughts on this is it's highly subjective. I think culturally, the way women were in general, I'm talking in generic terms now, the way women were introduced to driving in our culture is such that the rules were to some degree not held to them, because we have a culture where we want to protect our women and not stress them with anything. So you find that people will probably not be so demanding of women in terms of the rules of driving and all those rules, because they just want to drive and get from one point to the other and get the driver's license. So the people who sort of like cut them slack, and this is where it all starts. You cut someone slack in the training process, then they enter into the world of actual driving expecting everyone to cut them that same slack. Then they enter onto the streets and you have impatient people, and this has nothing to do with gender. But if you go through a training process and they don't lay down the rules hard enough for you, you will come into the real world with lowered expectations of yourself, and you think that everyone has those lowered expectations. Meanwhile, they don't. So I think a lot of what we've experienced today is the backlash first of giving people the impression that the rules are not really that strict, and then they get into the world and they get a very bad blowback from people, and then they get really upset with all other road users, and their own tolerance levels also come way down, such that anything you do that in any way seeks to take advantage of them, they don't want to hear it. So they drive a little bit more aggressively than they ought, some cases. And you see how this all feeds in. So I don't really think that in general, in a sense, women are worse drivers. But I think the way society has responded to women in driving and in learning about driving has fed the monster that we're seeing today.
There you go. You've heard some men share their thoughts on the matter. I wonder what the women will have to say about this topic. I'm itching to know. What about you? Well, if you're like me, you really shouldn't miss the next episode of Think About It. Until next week, just keep thinking about it. Bye for now.